What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the Gracie Academy for a critical discussion. Rener Gracie, Eve Gracie, baby Gracie. We don't know his name yet, but we know he's a boy. And there's a good chance that he might learn Jiu-Jitsu one day.
It's possible.
Eve, talk to us.
Yes. So, the question I get, I'm almost about 6 months pregnant right now. And the question I get every day when I'm here at the academy, either teaching or kind of on the mat, is like, how long are you going to train for? Or how long are you going to keep doing this? And the answer to that is I have no idea. Until I feel like I can't do it anymore is my answer, usually. But I wanted to have this discussion because for me, of course, when I first found out I was pregnant, wasn't the first thought, but one of my first thoughts was, okay, how's this going to work into my jiu-jitsu lifestyle? And how will I continue to train jiu-jitsu or get better at jiu-jitsu while I'm pregnant? And that's what anybody wants to know, is they don't want their pregnancy to completely stop everything that they love about their life, especially if you have an active lifestyle, a healthy active lifestyle. So I'm going to kind of go through what I went through throughout my pregnancy up until now, and we still have a ways to go, so we'll see. But when I first found out I was pregnant, I still felt great. It was very, very early, so I kind of continued as normal up until about 6 or 7 weeks pregnant. And around then, number one, I started feeling horrible. And number two, I realized that it just wasn't, I didn't want to put anyone in a position where, because I wasn't telling people yet about our pregnancy, I didn't want to spar with somebody and then have something feel uncomfortable or have something happen and them not know. So I felt like it was important for me to be honest with my training partners. And since I couldn't do that at the time, I took off for about 5 weeks of sparring, right? So I would still do technique, but I wouldn't spar from about 7 weeks pregnant up until about 12 weeks. And at 12 weeks is when, around then is when we kind of started telling people at the academy about the pregnancy. And then that's when things kind of change a little bit, because now we can be honest with our training partners, we can be honest with the people around us, and you can just kind of go based on your, how you're feeling. Now, obviously, before we say anything, of course, this is something that you have to speak with your doctor about, make sure that, because not everyone's pregnancy is the same. Some people have very normal pregnancies, others have a little bit more complications or things or risks factors that they have to consider. Luckily for me, things have been going pretty smoothly. So from about 12 weeks to, I would say, about 15, maybe like 17 weeks, I would only spar with Rener. So I would only spar with somebody that I really trusted, because obviously there are certain things that we couldn't do, like knee on belly or certain positions. But I was still at a point where I was feeling pretty comfortable moving. I was okay on my back. I could move around pretty well. So my suggestion during that time is that if you have somebody that you really trust and that knows your situation, that it's okay to continue light sparring or drilling during that time, for me. Then when I started to kind of start showing and start feeling a little bit more uncomfortable, now I strictly stick to technique,
and
right?
Positional stuff,
and positional and certain positions, because there are obviously some positions that I can't do right now that I'm not comfortable, and I also don't want to put my training partner in an awkward position, like wanting they're going to be very cautious and not wanting to hurt you. So I don't want to put them in a bad position by having them be in a something that's uncomfortable for me that could possibly hurt me, right, or the baby. So we'll talk a little bit about those positions and ways that you can keep training as long as you feel comfortable doing it in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, this is my first time being a pregnancy husband.
Congratulations.
Welcome me to the party, please. So it's been quite the exploration, quite the journey for us to figure this out. And in terms of positions, obviously, the thing is this: like, even though she trusts me, and even though I don't want to hurt the baby or I don't want to hurt Eve, still, at this point, like, there's just certain positions where almost instinctively your body behaves in a certain way. So in order to make sure that I couldn't even accidentally cause injury, we've just stuck to situations like this, standing self-defense situations. So a lot of standing self-defense, review, different techniques, none of which are going to put pressure directly on her abdomen. Ground techniques. Typically we stick to Eve being on top of the mount, on top of the guard, on top of the half guard, on top of the side mount. Because in all those positions, how much pressure that is put on her abdomen is essentially controlled by her, right? So if she's mounted and she lays her body on me, there will be naturally some compression on her stomach, but only to the degree that she rests her weight. So she'll naturally hold her weight off and attack however she wants. So she's getting a chance to attack her submissions from the mount, pass the guard, drilling close, open guard passes, different passes, half guard passes, side mount submissions and control strategies. Again, all based on how much weight she wants to put to her own comfort level. And it's very interesting how you don't need to spar. Put it this way, you don't need to spar wildly every single position mixed up to progress. And it was similar to when I injured my back way back when, and I took 10 months off. And during that period, I never watched so much sparring, and I never targeted my training so specifically and safely as I had ever done in the past.
Right.
And because of that, when I came out of the injury 10 months later, I was better than when I went in. Think about that. I was good. It didn't go like this. It went like this because I observed. I never watched Hidon so intently outside, from the outside. I always watched from the freaking tornado getting choked out, but I never watched so intently from the outside. And the amount of notes that I took on Hidon's success against other people and my need to essentially adapt and modify based on things that I witnessed that I never realized he did before was remarkable. And I know you're doing a lot of that right now as well.
Yeah, I'll kind of go through a typical like class, a class here at the academy. We split it up between technique and sparring. So during technique, what I do is I make sure to partner up in threes. Because what I don't want is a partner who only I can choke them and they can't choke me. That's not fair, right? So I'll usually work in a group of threes where there's kind of two partners and I'm kind of working in with them. So I'll get a chance to, if we're working cross chokes, I'll work on the cross chokes or whatever it is. And they...
Yeah, when it comes time to defend, someone else will be the defendant for your partner. Exactly. And then they'll work amongst themselves. But she can cycle in. This is genius.
So working in threes has been really helpful where I just kind of go in where I can. And if I don't feel comfortable doing a slice or a technique, I'll just kind of sit back and I'll watch them do it and help them figure it out because now I'm learning along with them. After the technique portion is over and everyone starts sparring, that's when I get out my notebook and I take all the notes of the techniques that I learned that day, right? So I try to remember every little detail and write them all down, whether it was offense, whether it was defense, whatever the position was. And then I use that time to just watch. And like Henner said, I've never really had an opportunity to just watch jiu-jitsu for hours, right in front of me, because normally we're on the mat sparring. So I actually have really learned a lot just by watching and by watching others spar, and especially training partners that I know, because I know they're, I know their bread and butter. So when I see it work against other people or it not work, then I can take really good notes and learn a lot from it.
Right. So moral of the story is no matter what you do, choosing your partners carefully is the most important thing. Because even in training the safe positions, we'll call it, where Eve is top mount, top side, top guard, top half, all those top safe positions where there's no accidental hip pressure, there are accidental kicks, there are accidental freaking elbows in the stomach, there are accidental shins to the stomach. And you want to get with the partner who knows their body very well. Not someone who's relatively new and clumsy with their movements.
It's not the time to be working with white belts.
This is not the time to be exploring with just people who just, and the thing is this, there are some purple belts who are very clumsy, right? They're strong, they hold their own, but they're not very spatially aware and physically aware of their body the same way that other more smooth rolling individuals are who are gentle and precise with their body. So all I'm saying is let's not limit it to belts, let's limit it to the people who never have any friction, who never accidentally elbow you in the mouth, And
don't feel bad for telling somebody like, oh no, I'm just gonna sit out and watch this one, right? If there's somebody that you don't feel comfortable partnering with, and if you wanna still continue kind of practicing technique and you don't feel comfortable, do not risk it. Don't just feel bad and say, oh, I have to partner up with this person because he's the only one who will. Then just watch.
You have to speak up because he can't.
Exactly.
Speak for the baby,
right
you guys.
now.
Protect
Training
him. Because if he's in there sleeping and you're trying to drill open guard passes, you don't want to get kicked in the stomach. He's going to wake up angry. And then you won't want to learn jiu-jitsu when he comes out. Okay? You have to make jiu-jitsu. When he's awake and he's kicking in there, you're passing guard. You're choking people. So you just got to make sure you coordinate with the little freaking mango that's in there. Okay? So that's about his size right now, right? They said.
A large mango.
He's a large mango right now, just over a pound supposedly in weight, and we're so excited to meet him.
Yes.
Any final tips for our pregnant mothers out there?
Yeah, so for pregnant jiu-jitsu mothers, I hope this video helped. I knew when I got pregnant, I started Googling all these things and started like, okay, what do I do? How does this work? But just know that obviously it's going to go based on how you're feeling and how your pregnancy is, and everyone's is different. So I'm giving mine as an example, and hopefully it helps for some people to kind of figure out how they're going to incorporate this in. But what I don't want is for women to feel like, like they're a bad mother for continuing to train jiu-jitsu because of their baby. And that's what people will make you feel. And that's why I wanted to do this video, is because people are like, oh my gosh, like, you're still training? You know, like what, you know, almost like I'm doing something wrong for myself or for my child. And I have to trust my body and trust myself and my knowledge of my body. And while I'm still feeling good and still feeling comfortable, but yet at the same time knowing what things I can't do, what positions I won't do, what things are uncomfortable, then I can, you know, empower myself to make the right decisions as far as, you know, training the safest for me and for the baby.
Yeah, and I think at the core of all of this is an idea and an acceptance and a true belief that it's not an all or nothing. Jiu-Jitsu is not an all or nothing.
Right.
It's not like I train, spar, kill, and then I'm pregnant, I can do nothing because the baby. No. And if it's like that at your academy, maybe. Then just stop showing up for 9 months.
Or just watch.
Or just watch if they let you, or unless they say, you, pregnant, spar, now. Then you're in
run for your life.
Yes, don't go back. But the point is, it's not an all or nothing. And ultimately, you have to come back and say, okay, after the few weeks in the beginning where you don't feel too well and you can't tell anybody, come back and say, listen, I'm going to slice up jiu-jitsu learning into several aspects, and I'm going to take advantage of the aspects, top positions, guards, passing, guards, side mount, safe training partners, and really slice it up, note-taking to the things you can do. And those things you can do them twice as much because you can't do the other things. And watch what happens on the other side. Watch what happens when the baby comes out and you get back to the mat. And you're better than you remember you were.
I'm hoping.
It'll happen. Okay? Eve, thank you for sharing. Mothers out there, hope you guys learned. And fathers out there, just do what she says. Yay! Welcome back, you guys. Last time we saw you, she was 6 months pregnant, and I did not know how to change a diaper. Well, things have changed. She's no longer pregnant, and I'm a white belt in diaper combatives.
I think you've earned your blue belt.
Calm down. It's only been
Yeah.
11 weeks. I gotta work.
Yeah.
You guys, Eve, tell them where we left off.
That's right. Last time we spoke, I was 6 months pregnant. I didn't quite know what the end of the journey was going to be for me in terms of pregnancy, in terms of jiu-jitsu, but really where that ended up is I trained until about, and by trained, again, I mean doing techniques and working in groups of threes until about 7 months. 7 months pregnant. Then I started getting pretty uncomfortable on the ground. Pretty uncomfortable.
Sorry.
That was not how I was. I was very,
She was
very
like,
elegant and
whoa,
yes,
wow.
it's good. So I trained until about 7 months, but I kept teaching until actually 40 weeks.
No, more.
Until 40 weeks.
After you, there was one class that she taught when we were post 40
Yeah,
weeks.
maybe it was 41 weeks pregnant.
Yeah, and then
I
like
was
that
still
Sunday we went to
teaching.
the hospital and boom, out came the boomer.
Not quite like that. It actually, I was there on Sunday. He came out on Monday.
Yeah,
it was a long labor.
Quite the situation.
But yeah, so I was able to still be on the mat and still kind of, assisting with techniques and even still doing standing techniques.
No, she was teaching, man. She was
until
in there.
41 weeks. But that was just part of me wanting to stay connected and wanting obviously to be there for the students and whatnot. But definitely about 7 months is when I started feeling uncomfortable enough to say, all right, now it's time for me just to kind of mostly watch. So I was really glad I did that, and I think it made for a fitter pregnancy and a happier mama and a happier baby.
Boom. Happy mommy, happy baby.
And
Speaking
there's
of home,
actually somebody that we want you to meet.
everybody welcome. The little champ, Haven Gracie, joins the party, joins the family, and begins the jiu-jitsu journey today.
Yeah, we start him young, clearly. He was born September 28th. A long 30-hour labor.
Boom. Self-defense.
Every minute of it, and here we are.
Super happy, super chill. As long as he's fed and moving, he's good to go. And so obviously, his opinion on the entire jiu-jitsu while pregnant process, is pretty much the only one that matters. And we've consulted with him in private, and he has concluded that Eve's approach of, in the beginning, continue rolling, happy mom, happy baby. Later on, positional drilling with a trusted person, maybe a husband. Later, teaching techniques and staying off your belly at all costs. And then at the very end, just think and talk and watch jiu-jitsu, take notes, but don't actually train. Maybe a little teaching. He said that, hey, it's all good. It's all good. And he's here. Evidence, proof, verification of the process. So what's your advice to all the future moms out there who are like, oh, I don't know if I want to get pregnant because I can't do jiu-jitsu because they're not?
Keep your eye on the prize.
Eye on the prize.
Yeah, no, but just know that really you know your body best and you know your baby best. So really trust your own instincts, but it's super important to just be happy as you're pregnant. So if being fit and being active means that you're a happy pregnant woman, then by all means keep that going.
So today is officially Haven's very first class. Everyone always asks me, Rener, when did you start in the family? And I like make up numbers because I don't even really know. And the reality is he won't really know except for the evidence in this video. So we do like a little technique, like in the family we do it like this, like when we lay him down, hey buddy, and then we do a trap and roll, and then he mounts on his dad, and then he's here, hey, hey, Haven, and then he's in the guard, and then he's in the feet like this, and then he goes up like that. That's the one. That's the first technique, guard passing. And then he comes down, hey buddy, and then we're sitting like this, and then he's in the guard, and how do you pass the guard? You go under, and then you side mount, like this, side mount, then you mount, it's like more of a butterfly guard mount right here, that he made up, and then you spin for the arm lock, hey buddy, and he spins, and he locks the legs over like this, and then he holds my hand, and I go, ow, ow, let me go, man, let me go, man. And then he smiles. There's the champ right there. There's the champ right there. So there you have it, you guys. Hey, Eve, come on in. Haven Gracie. Who knows? Like we always say, it was our choice to put the gi on him. It'll be his choice to keep it on for the rest of his life. And couldn't be happier. Now the belt starts off as black, but before he actually knows what his actual colors, ABCs, 1, 2, 3s, red, white, blue colors are,
this will go last time.
Yeah, this will go back to white, and then he's got to work his way up. You got to go the hard way, champion. Here, go with your mom. Okay, go take your gi off, get some milk, be happy, and the journey continues, you guys. Much respect. Oh.
Yeah, nature's calling.
Nature's calling.